Hello, Umut here. Welcome to another video. Today I'm creating an art journal and I'm getting to work straight away. Today I decided to go traditional way, use my inks a little bit. I haven't used them for a while. And I'm using my distress inks to create my background with my blending tool. I'm not going to use such vibrant colors. I'm using shades of yellows and maybe light browns. I'm going to put the colors down below at the description box for you to see. And I'm just simply mixing them on page with my blending tool. This is my Moleskine sketchbook, my favorite for using art journals. And also I didn't gesso my page. I never gesso my page while using inks. I haven't been able to post for the last couple of weeks maybe because I was taking a little bit break, focusing on other things, resting. My eyes were also not feeling so good, so I was trying not to look at screens, which felt good. But I miss creating as well, so today I'm trying to edit this video for you to see, and also I think I'm gonna play a little bit myself in my craft room, creating some pages. Gave a bit of a darker border to my page as well with a vintage photo, and I think it's fine like this. I wanted a muted look and feel. And I'm throwing some water droplets with my hand as well, because this is distress. It's gonna leave a nice effect when I blot it out from the page. I'm using a dry towel, and now I'm going to dry it with my heat gun. After that, I'm going to also throw some splashes out there. This is Dina Wakeley's white acrylic spray. The nozzle doesn't work at all now, so I'll just use it to throw splashes of white. A good use of it in any way. I'm going to throw some splashes with the brown as well, vintage photo. I think it will look nice and bring some vibrancy into the page. After all, we want some texture and interest at the background going on too. Today's plan was always to use these rice papers from Stamperia. I think they are from Atelier collection. You can find it in many stores if you just Google. I got mine from Napkin Shop in the UK, but they ship worldwide as well. So I'm going to use it in a different way today. I'm just gluing it down to a normal print paper, copy paper that you use in your printers. I'm just sticking it down with my matte medium, and I'm going to cut them one by one, these colorful pencils, to use them as focal points. I'm doing the same for these paint tubes. I'll just glue them down and use them as focal points. I'm not sticking them down on a cardstock, not to make it so bulky. But you can do this if you're using a canvas, something separate or tag. That would look nice too. I'm really happy with the result. I just cut them all out, and I'm just going to bring them together, tie them together with a natural string. Since my focal points are colorful with different colors, that's why I wanted a muted background that is more neutral, so that it doesn't overpower my focal points. This will be an artsy page, and it is one of those pages that I fiddle a lot with more details than usual. Sometimes I go for very easy pages, simple focal point, simple background. But today I wanted to play, so I added lots of details. Before I glue my focal points, I wanted to give a little bit more interest at the back. So I'm using the same colors that I have on my focal points, like blues and reds, for the stamping that I'm doing at the back. Since this is an art page with paint, I think these are coffee tea stains, but I will pretend they are paint stains. This is a Crackling Wildfire, I think, the color I'm using. And the one before was China. The stamp I used was from Limor Weber. I'm not sure if it's available because it's a very old stamp. I also used my script stamp from Penny Black with tea-dye distress ink again for the background. Now I decided to draw a color palette myself, the ones that you use in your hand when you're painting. I'm going to create a wooden one. I just drew it with a pencil. I don't have stamp or anything, so I'm just going to create it myself. And I'm going to use my vintage photo paint from Distress to just color the base. I'm just following the lines that I drew myself, and if I drew it, it's a very simple shape. You can all do it. If you look at a picture of a palette, it's very simple. It doesn't need any precision. You can all paint for yourselves. We don't need the stamp or something else. And if you have a paper for it, like a ready ephemera, you can use that as well. It's all up to you. I'm always for using what you have, or finding ways to create what you want. After it's dry, I'm also using this stencil with a wood texture to go over it with a darker ink. This is a chocolate something from Memento ink. That's what I have. And it looks now it has a more wooden texture. And I'm going around it with a black pen and with a thin tip, pointed tip, so it separates from the background really well. I'm really happy with it, and I'm now going to play more. This stencil is from 13 Arts, and it has some splashes of paint. It is also like art-oriented stencil, and I'm using these again splashes of color, using the same colors, Broken China, Crackling Wildfire, to just use this shape all over the page, so that it gives this arty feeling that colors splash around. After this, I'm going to stick down my focal points and see where we go from there. I'm using some glue to stick down these, only in the middle. The rest is hanging in the air, which gives a good dimension without adding any bulk. And I'm just sticking the tubes around there. With this palette, I wasn't happy that it was a little bit flat, so I'm adding all these shading so that it looks more natural with its color, and it adds a lot of dimension and depth into it, so I'm really happy with it. Be scared to add shadows to your images, it only brings them to life even better. With the same rice paper, there are these tag shapes with some sentiments on it related to art, which goes with the page very well in colors and everything. So I'm going to cut them again and stick them in the middle, one after another. Because this is rice paper, I can stick them in the spine without making a problem. It will close well because it disappears quite well into the page anyway, super thin. And I have several sentiments about art, really nice, going with my page. And I'll make something different here. I took my paints from Arteza. These are heavy body acrylic paints. I need heavy body acrylic paints to do this because it needs to hold up. I'm just putting some like you do on a palette when you're going to paint. And I'll let it dry overnight. I'm just splashing some white as well. When it dries, it will turn into plastic, so it won't move anymore. Acrylic paint dries permanent and holds the shape if it's heavy body. So it will look really nice with its dimension, and you can touch it and everything after it dries. I thought it will add a really good detail to my page. I'm just going around these sentiments with black pen again to make them more prominent. I also went around the borders of the page to make them a little bit darker with black too. I really love the page. It looks so arty, and with its colors it looks a bit vintagey too. And I love this color palette. When I left it open overnight, it dried nicely, and now I can close it without these paint losing shape. I hope you enjoyed this video. I loved creating this page, and as always, if you did, I would be happy if you leave a comment, hit the like button, or subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.